Hello friends! Electricity crackling through the air will affect more than 5,000 invasive species by 2025 alone. And why are invasive species often the victims? Follow along as we find out what caused these 20 shocking moments. $100 zero-pound giant smashed through an electric fence, leaving chaos in its wake. In one Florida city, government installed barriers with a raw 7,000-volt power supply, were no match for its power. Instead of spending the money, you could install an ultrasonic system, because elephants are sensitive to high-frequency sounds. You won't believe how these pythons and snakes find their way up high-voltage power lines. How can a legless reptile climb dozens of feet high? But their curiosity and blind hunting instincts lead them to a disastrous end. What is the solution to control them? Please comment. Electric fences are supposed to be safe for livestock in Texas. But why do some animals get seriously shocked? When they lick the wire, the current passes straight through their bodies, disrupting their feeding and reproductive habits. The only way to prevent this is for livestock keepers to check the fence twice a month. In 2023, Russian cattle farmers lost $2,500,000 due to electric fences used to keep coyotes out. But when it rains, the cow's wet fur conducts electricity, causing them to panic and reduce milk production by 30%. The voltage should be adjusted to 5,000 volts and sensors installed that automatically cut off power when humidity rises. The pig has charged the fence without realizing it. The electric current has caught it by surprise and hasn't harmed it yet. But that's just a matter of timing and how to deal with it. Instead of an electric fence, why not try a closed pen system or a solid stainless steel fence? More than 200 monkeys in Thailand are electrocuted by high voltage power lines every year. Each time the economic loss is severely affected, especially tourist areas are disrupted by this. People need to immediately report to the Electricity Authority for inspection to avoid further accidents. Next, you may know that leopards in India can climb up to 30 feet in trees, but they do not understand that every step can go wrong. This inadvertently injures the animal. Insulated wiring is the preferred solution for removing outdated power lines. This family couldn't wait any longer. The raccoon that was injured by the electrical wiring under the fish tank was a warning. Next time, it could be a family member. Don't let this happen to you. Replace the electrical system under the fish tank immediately. Just because of a bird, this snake lost its life when it came into contact with a high voltage power line. Do you have any new ways to prevent reptiles from coming into contact with power lines? Please comment.
करंट लगा उसको।
Seeing monkeys being electrocuted makes me feel sorry for the invasive species. They don't understand the danger of electricity and pay with their lives for their instinct to find food. Build fences so they don't have a chance to climb the power lines. Comment 1 if you support this method. Hundreds of black bears in Alaska are at risk from power lines. While there are no specific figures on the number of electrocuted bears, many are questioning where the responsibility lies in protecting them. A reminder to residents to always check the electrical system in their area. I believe that the frequent accidents involving monkeys near railway tracks may be due to the deterioration of the power lines. To reduce the risk and prevent these accidents, we could consider underground power lines. What do you think about this solution? In some parts of Asia, the use of electric bait to catch birds has been harmful to invasive species, especially squirrels. This cruel practice must be condemned. Stricter regulations and human alternatives are needed to protect fragile ecosystem. Did you feel a jolt of shock like I did when the North American panda was electrocuted by the light bulb? If so, comment yes. "17. These moments remind us of how unpredictable nature can be when invasive species collide with modern infrastructure. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want more shocking wildlife moments, don't forget to share. Your support helps us bring more surprising stories to your screens. In the dark corners of nature, hunters walk a fine line between the thrill of the chase and the fear of becoming prey. Danger does not knock on the door, it comes unexpectedly. Hunters who venture into this harsh land know what lurks, from wild boars with powerful tusks to feral cates whose eerie silence ends in ambushes and bears with twice the strength of a human. These are moments where survival depends on instinct and luck. But why do they keep coming back? But what drives hunters to face these creatures, knowing the boar's natural ferocity, the feral cat's stealthiness, and the bear's dominance? Perhaps it is not just the thrill of the hunt, but also the desire to understand these animals' raw, untamed instincts. Wild boars are prolific breeders with females capable of producing large offspring. This high reproductive rate has led to population explosions, creating hunting opportunities. Wild boars are social animals that often travel in herds led by an older sow, providing a strategic advantage to hunters. During the breeding season, wild boars, especially pregnant sows, become increasingly aggressive. Their instincts to protect their young kick in, making them more unpredictable. As they search for food more aggressively in the cooler months of late fall to early winter, hunting them becomes a challenge, heightening the intensity of the hunt. On Vancouver Island, a veteran wildlife filmmaker had spent years studying animals, but nothing had prepared him for the raw spectacle of bears hunting salmon. Despite their massive size, they travel at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour over short distances. They leap from rock to rock, up to 15 feet at a time, aiming to catch salmon swimming upstream. Each leap is a perfectly timed strike, their claws slicing through the water with the utmost precision. These bears, unlike many other animals in the wild, do not rely on vegetation but rather thrive entirely on protein-rich raw meat. The filmmaker was particularly struck by the frequency with which mother bears, while nursing their cubs, would return to streams, sometimes traveling more than 10 miles multiple times a day, to ensure their cubs had enough to eat. The vast wilderness tests her limits. A tiny black-footed cat begins her journey. Weighing just 2 pounds as a baby, she seemed too small to survive in a dangerous world, but she was born with the raw instincts of a predator. As she grew, her skills grew stronger. As an adult, she could travel 20 miles in a single night, her night vision and keen hearing guiding her as she hunted everything from grasshoppers to birds. Her accuracy with a 60% success rate in her jumps would only increase as she matured into one of the most dangerous hunters in the animal kingdom. She is also a master of ambush, having honed her hunting techniques from birth. She starts by lying low, blending into her surroundings. She approaches within 20 to 30 feet to launch a successful attack. Her calm demeanor is a key factor in her success, allowing her to remain undetected and wait for the perfect moment to strike. Wild boar, originally native to Europe, Asia, and parts of North Africa, were introduced to North America primarily for sport hunting. The tradition of hunting wild boar dates back to ancient times, with boar hunting being a royal and noble pastime in Europe.
Here they are.
The thrill of the hunt, combined with the danger and skill involved in pursuing such a formidable animal, made boar hunting an esteemed challenge. In the early 1900s, several states in the US decided to introduce wild boar populations for hunting purposes, particularly in states like Texas, Georgia, and Florida. The introduction of wild boar wasn't purely for recreational hunting, however. The animals were also brought in for conservation and to restore the idea of a traditional hunt in areas that had lost native wildlife or never had any boar populations to begin with. The introduction of boar was seen as a way to revive the heritage of hunting that had long been associated with survival and prowess. Why do wild boars thrive in numbers large enough to keep hunters busy despite decades of hunting? Known for their explosive reproductive abilities, a female can give birth to 6 to 12 piglets per litter, twice a year, fueling an unstoppable population explosion. Even with heavy hunting pressure, their numbers continue to grow faster than can be controlled. But one change as sport hunting continues is that they have become more aggressive, learning to fight back, making the chase more dangerous. Hunting wild boar is not only a skill but also a team spirit and preparation. Hunters often rely on a combination of savage rifles, which are famous for their accuracy and reliability. After many dangerous times, hunters are assisted by trained hunting dogs. They are used to drive wild boars from their hiding places and make them important allies in the hunt. Participants in this activity often bet up to $10,000 to add to the excitement. Hunters are seasoned professionals, each with more than 10 years of experience and a record of successfully taking down 3 to 5 wild boars per hunt. Taking down wild boars is the highlight of the hunt. This wildcat hunt was different from other wild boar hunts because it used a unique method to attract the elusive predators closer to the hunting area. The hunters used specialized equipment to mimic the sounds of prey in distress, often mimicking the cries of small animals such as rabbits or birds. This mimicry takes advantage of the wildcat's instincts and draws them out of hiding.
John, get edge of the field. Work.
After the first wildcat was taken down, the appearance of the second one reinforced the effectiveness of the sound method of hunting. A technique that was invented in the early 20th century and is still very successful today with an 85% success rate.
Going right there.
Despite being wary, the second wildcat fell prey to the hunter with a precise shot at 120 yards, demonstrating both the skill of the shooter and the staying power of the technique.
Thinking, this is where you go to find a bobcat. I could have a shot.
Hunting feral cats in the United States means traversing some of the most difficult terrain imaginable. Steep rocky slopes, dense brush, and vast expanses where every movement could expose you. This predator thrives in isolated areas that force hunters deep into harsh terrain where danger lurks in every shadow. It's not just feral cats you have to worry about. Wolves also stalk these lands. Their howl's a chilling reminder of the risks. Hunters rely on every trick in the feral cat's behavior to stay undetected. They wear dark brown clothing that blends seamlessly into the dry trees.
Got him, bud.
Tagged out on bobcats, baby. Yes.
Hunters lie low on the ground in camouflage near sparse brush. All of this is to disguise the feral cat's agility with its keen eyes that can detect even the slightest movement or sound. Their ability to stalk prey with precision makes them the undisputed kings of this terrain, leaving no room for error for the hunter. Fall from August to October is the prime bear hunting season. During this time, bears are fattening up for the winter and often feed on berries, salmon, or other nutritious food sources. Fall hunting is ideal for trophy hunting because bears have thick, glossy fur. With the bear season kicking off in Alaska, hunters are gearing up for a week-long adventure about a 10-hour drive from the city. With their crossbows ready and packed, anticipation is high as they prepare to track the giant beasts. Covering the bait with logs or weights ensures that only bears can access it. This keeps smaller animals such as raccoons and wolves away while encouraging bears to linger. Additionally, placing bait near natural food sources such as berry patches, water sources, or trails that bears frequently travel will increase the likelihood of attracting them. Based on the experience of hunters in Maine, bears often leave traces such as hairs on tree branches that help hunters track their movements. Hunters rely on devices such as trail cameras to improve tracking efficiency. According to research, trail cameras can save up to 4 to 6 hours of physical searching by providing real-time alerts when a bear enters the area. Bear hunts in Alaska's challenging terrain typically last 5 to 7 days and require hunters to endure long treks. In physical condition, they can cover up to 15 miles per day. Alaska enforces strict bear hunting policies each year, allowing hunters to take only one bear per season to maintain a sustainable population. This limit has been in effect since 1997 when regulations were put in place to prevent overhunting and ensure the bear population remains healthy. After hibernation, hungry bears begin to feed, often focusing on easily accessible food sources such as bait set by hunters. Hunters use broadhead arrows designed to penetrate the bear's tough hide, usually targeting 300 to 600 pound bears. Bears are exceptional climbers, capable of scaling even the tallest trees in the forest, which requires hunters to take extra precautions when preparing to hunt. Many believe that encountering a bear family is the ultimate success in a hunt. But for most hunters, a lone bear is often the preferred target. Bear families can present unpredictable challenges, especially if cubs are present, as hunting laws often prohibit shooting cubs, adding a layer of ethics to the hunt. Success depends on understanding animal behavior using strategic baiting and scent control. Remember, respecting wildlife and the environment is key. What is your take on hunting success? Comment below. Subscribe for more documentary videos about the world of hunting. Off the coast of La Malera, Indonesia, is where the Savu Sea meets the traditions of the village whalers, the southern right whales returning each June to breed. For generations, villagers have studied these ocean giants and observed their impressive mating rituals in the deep waters they frequent. Male whales weighing more than 200,000 pounds surge to the surface whilst that they create waves in the ocean as they compete for dominance. Their massive bodies collide in relentless attacks, each vying for the chance to mate. females initially roll back cautiously to protect themselves from pursuing males. But when a female signals her readiness, the competition becomes more intense. The males, equipped with movable genitalia 12 feet long and testicles weighing more than 1,000 pounds, compete to ensure their genes prevail. Often, the last male to mate will be successful because his final act will defeat his rival's efforts. This ancient bond ties the villagers to the ocean, where they depend on the presence of whales and their deep connection to the rhythms of the sea. What is the main reason why the people living in Lamellera are so interested in whale hunting? On the remote shores of Lamellera, a small village on Indonesia's Lembata Island, life revolves around the ancient hunt for whales. For centuries, the men of Lamellera have braved the open seas in handcrafted wooden boats, armed with nothing but bamboo harpoons and the knowledge passed down through generations. They rely on the ocean's bounty for survival, making whale hunting not just a tradition, but a necessity. This practice defines their identity, a way of life deeply intertwined with respect for nature. Every part of the whale is used as meat to feed their families, oil for light, and bones for tools, reflecting their deep gratitude to the sea. For generations, the Lamellera people have relied on whaling as their main source of food. Large commercial ships have encroached on their waters, using explosives to hunt whales for profit. The whales that used to congregate in these rich breeding grounds have begun to avoid the area for safety. Industrial ships equipped with bombs and mines hunt on a scale right in the Lamellara's territory, making it impossible for them to compete. The villagers are now struggling to find the whales that once fed them. The whales, known for their size and intelligence, are now hiding deeper in the ocean, out of reach of the Lamellera hunters. Tensions are rising as the villagers face an uncertain future caught between their ancient way of life and the unstoppable power of commercial exploitation. As a result, the villagers with their handmade wooden boats can no longer reach the whales, forcing them to wait for help from the government. Some younger villagers, tired of fighting against the power of the ocean, are considering abandoning this tradition. They dream of motorized boats that would help them hunt more efficiently and safely, allowing them to continue their way of life. However, this change also brings a deep sense of loss. Sacrificing centuries-old practices for modern tools is like a shift away from their roots. Will they adapt to ensure their future, or will they lose the culture that has shaped them for so long? What do you think about this transition? Comment below. The air was filled with the nervous anticipation of this hunt. It had been nearly 6 months since their last hunt, a forced halt due to encroaching commercial fishing vessels draining their traditional waters. Now the villagers had meticulously prepared for what many speculated could be their last. Blacksmiths had worked tirelessly to forge 12 harpoons, each sharpened and designed to cut through the whale's thick, blubbery hide. Each harpoon was rigorously inspected, as a failure of just one mid-flight could mean disaster for the entire crew. This time their hand-carved wooden boat had undergone an upgrade. A small engine had been added, a controversial decision that had been debated by village elders for weeks. But the changes were necessary to keep up with the whales, which can reach speeds of 23 miles per hour. For the Lalera people, this hunt was not just another journey, but a new beginning. The men of the village believed that this expedition offered them their best hope of a chance to reclaim their way of life. Standing at the bow of the boat was the Lamafa, the spearfisher, a living symbol of courage and skill. This new beginning was different. The addition of the engine gave the hunters a sense of confidence they had not felt in days. The traditional pelipack could barely keep up with the speed of a fleeing whale. But now, for the first time, they could catch up without much effort. As they entered rough waters, the engine began to hum as the whale appeared. With a brain weighing about 17 pounds, the largest of any living creature on Earth, It can process complex sounds and vibrations and detect human activity from more than 10 miles out into the water. On the first day, the crew's skills and preparation were put to the test. They succeeded in catching a small fish, a sign that their efforts had paid off. The tension on board eased a bit as they worked together to drag their catch back to shore. While the real challenges still lay ahead, this small victory was a glimmer of hope for a village clinging to its long-standing traditions in an uncertain future.
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.